If you're interested in starting a new business, but you want to skip past the mistakes, this is the episode for you. The first mistake that I would tell you to avoid is don't be the low price leader. In other words, make sure that you charge enough for what it is that you offer. At Purple Cow, we do our best to offer our services with excellence. And as a result, that costs us a lot. For one thing that we do, we might need to have one of our copywriters that's writing copy, a graphic designer designing, a website developer developing, a project manager to manage everything. And all of those roles add up in terms of everyday costs. Then we need to buy computers for them to work on, an office for them to be at, healthcare, and on and on. For a lot of companies that want to differentiate themselves from other businesses just by offering the lowest cost, they may find that attracts new customers to them, but they also may find that at the end of the month, they've done a lot of work, but there's no money left over for their efforts. The second mistake that I would want you to avoid is that you need to hire based on company culture fit and not only based on skills. What do I mean by that? I think so often people will think about the technical skills or services that somebody needs to do when they hire them, and they don't think about what their company culture is, their company vision, mission, and make sure that this person is a fit with all of it. So say, for example, for me, if I hire somebody that is a good graphic designer, I need to make sure that they're not only great at graphic design, but I need to make sure that they have a work ethic and that's relevant to our company, that they care about collaborating with other team members, that they're sensitive about time frames and other things that are important for our clients. So even if they are an excellent graphic designer, they may still not be a great fit for our company because they don't fit with the other things that are important to us as a team and that are important to our clients as well. The third mistake that I want you to avoid is that sometimes you need to fire your client. A lot of businesses know that from time to time there may be an employee that you have to fire, but less commonly known is that occasionally you have to fire a client or a customer as well. Why do you need to do this? At times there might be a particular client that is causing so much distress that your whole company is focused all of their energy on them when it needs to instead always be focused on what it does best and providing for the needs of all of your clients, all of your customers. And if you find that there's a client that is taking up so much energy and causing so much distress amongst all of your employees, it may be that it's time to let them go. With each of these clients that we've had over the last 13 years that we've needed to fire, we've always gone out of our way to do our best to go above and beyond and to make things right, to put the fire out. But with some people, you're gonna find that no matter how much effort you put in, it's gonna be impossible to ever turn the ship around. And in those cases, you at times are gonna have to make the difficult decisions that you don't wanna make and let them go. Over the last 13 years, there's only been about 5 times where I've been in the situation where I've really had to think about this. And in each case, they were our biggest client, and it was a concern about what am I gonna do with all of the revenue lost if I let them go? But I have to be honest and say that whenever I did make that difficult decision and let those few clients go over the years, my first feeling after letting them go was not fear, but it was relief. Relief that we would be able to come back together as a team and put in our very best energy and efforts to all of our clients. The fourth mistake that I would want to tell you to avoid is to focus on less. When we started Purple Cow Agency 13 years ago now, we just had our 13th year anniversary this week, we really focused on being a marketing agency for everybody, meaning businesses in every type of niche. But if I were to start over with Purple Cow today, one of the most significant things that I would change was that I would niche. So instead of being the marketing agency for everybody, I would instead pick one niche and I would be the marketing agency for veterinary hospitals or the marketing agency for Silicon Valley startups, something very specific. I remember one time I was writing a proposal for a junior college in California, and it took a lot of time to put together that proposal. And at this time we hadn't worked with a junior college yet. And I found that because the college was so transparent about other marketing agencies that were also bidding on this project, that there was another marketing agency that all they did was marketing for junior colleges, just like this one. And I knew right away that it was going to be very difficult to win this proposal because this other company was very smart. They niched down. The only proposals they wrote, the only marketing they did, the only websites they built were all for junior colleges. And so imagine if you're this junior college and you're sorting through different marketing agencies and you're looking at their strengths and weaknesses and which one you should choose. Are you going to pick the marketing agency that is all things to all people? Or are you going to be the marketing agency that lives and breathes and eats only for junior colleges just like yours? You know, every single time the junior colleges are at least going to really carefully look at this particular marketing agency because they niche down. It means that they know them so well. So think about your own business. Are you trying to do more than you should? And are you able to focus on less to achieve far more? Mistakes, failures, they're part of life. They're certainly part of business, but I hope that you've learned something from the mistakes that I've made and you'll be able to avoid them in your own business journey. As always, thank you for taking the time to listen. I'd appreciate if you would send a like and comment below. Take care.